let's make it. Yeah, we're good. Hey, good morning. It's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. Hope you're doing well. It's Thursday, I guess the 20th of February. Ooh, February's going. Whole year's going by really fast, isn't it? I don't know about you all, but it is going fast for me. And it's 5:58. So within the hour, I think the cat's going a little nuts. The Bubbles character is jumping up and down the stairs, which you can't see. It's behind the camera. And you're going to take everything out, and it's all going to come tumbling down. Come on. Come on, Missy. You look like you got crazy eyes. You got crazy eyes. Anyway, this is 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. This is not the cat show. I'm Greg Mester, Scrum Master and Agile Coach. And we're here to talk about Agile and Scrum stuff in a tactical and practical way to help you get home to your family and friends so you can have some fun and watch crazy cats if you have them, or do stuff with crazy kids, which is still sleeping. He'll come down the middle, take me off. And so also so you can bring more value, because I firmly believe that using Scrum and Agile will help you create more value for your company and for yourself in the long run. The more work you do, the more you'll get paid. I mean, it's that ratio, right? And the better you do, and the more value you bring in the company means the company thinks you're more valuable, so you get more money. Or if you have time at home and you're trying to start your own business like I am, for other things that aren't Scrum, but I am applying Scrum and Agile to the process, maybe you'll make more money there, and have some fun along the way, and try not to stress out so much between doing the Scrum and between work and home, and stressing and trying to get too much stuff done, So we're going to talk about a couple things. One, I'm going to talk about, I have volunteered. I've been doing this for a little bit. Still debating whether I'm going to volunteer for PMI, though. I have to look at my calendar and see if they still need somebody. So I volunteered for the Agile Alliance to help review proposals for presentations. And it dawned on me when I was last night reading a lot of them, trying to stay awake and do this, kids jumping on me, and just trying to see what everybody wants to propose and present, which is cool because I do this every once in a while too, but I never thought of it until I do the other side when you're reviewing all these hundreds and hundreds of proposals to do presentations at these conferences. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And the other one I wrote, tomorrow's Fortune Cookie Fridays. We're not doing that today, but I was going to let you know. And then talk about the difficult Scrum teams, right? I'll make sure I write down, I remember what I just said. But I have a challenge for myself. So it's not always a bed of roses, right? For what we do. There's my pen. I'm looking for my pen. And I could talk about a couple different things. I'm going to write the other one today, but I'm going to talk about those two things. I'm going to talk about Scrum Alliance proposals and difficult teams, the stuff I am going through right now as an Agile coach, the challenges I have. Because it's not always a bed of roses. Oh, I want to be an Agile coach. Oh, I want to get in transformation. Yeah. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt. I'm just being honest, right? So anyway, Agile Alliance. And don't forget, tomorrow's Fortune Cookie Friday. So we do Fortune Cookie tomorrow. So I volunteered, was not prepared to help with the Agile Alliance reviewing proposals. Never done it before. A lot of times in this Agile business, man, it exposes things you're not ready for. When we think Agile, we just, sure, let's do it. Make sure you have time and lesson learned. So I'll go on a couple of things. Lessons learned for doing this and what I did. So I'm like, that'd be awesome, because one day I would love to present at the Agile Alliance, to be honest with you. It would be cool. It would be a real interesting thing to do. And I presented at major conferences in the past for whatever industry I work in over time, usually a couple of years into it. I don't do it right away because it's a waste of everybody's time if you do it right away. So anyway, a couple things I learned. So one, I learned it takes time People want feedback on the proposals, trying to make the proposals better. There's time in there. And what I learned is I should have reserved at least 20 minutes a night to review these proposals as they came in, or every couple of nights. Now that the door closed and then we're doing final reviews, it's like 20 minutes a night. So you got to put away that much time to support the activity because there's so many proposals to do. And that was a mistake when I first started. I didn't reserve enough time. I didn't have the bandwidth to go and review these things at night. And I had to tell the kids and Eddie, all right, I got to go. I got to go do work at night. But I want to jump on you and wrestle with you, Dad. I've been wanting to wrestle all day. I got to get all this energy. I was like, go to sleep. Like, I got to go do reviews. So I had to lock myself in the office for like 20, 30 minutes and just review the proposals. So that was one thing, prepping for it. It's all about prep, right? The other prep point, and it dawned on me the other day when I was reading a few of them, and how I reviewed them before that. You would think that with all the coaching classes and all the coaching we do, and like and now I'm like thinking all these people who are putting proposals on need to take the ATF class from ICAgile. And that is not a plug for ICAgile. I mean, it is, but I don't care if you take my class. I took it years ago. I've taken facilitation back in the 90s. So it was a rehash for stuff I learned some, God forbid, 20, 25 years ago, 20 years ago. Yeah, 20, 30 years ago. Yeah, a long time. Anyway, so what I noticed to make a better proposal, because it's a 75-minute long activity. They like if you so is I can give comments like, put in what your schedule is. Like when we do the agile facilitation class, we build agendas for the class, right? It's like you're teaching the agile thing. So what do you do when you're in work? You write an agenda, you lay it out, how you want to do it, what's going to look like. If you have sample things, you have some slides and things like that you're going to present. So many people don't have any of that stuff. Some people just put one liner. I'm like, dude, I can't figure out. I didn't know if you're gonna make 75 minutes, because when the reviewers look at it, they also look at it. Okay, one, is the audience going to be interested in the topic? Is your topic oriented, organized? And are you going to make it, right? Is it going to work, right? And it's amazing how many people would say it's an interactive activity and would not describe their interactive activity whatsoever in the proposal. Like, well, what's an interactive activity? You didn't describe anything you were doing. So it's a classic example of not preparing and writing an agenda for your event, which I'm going to say this, but which we teach in the ICAgile ATF class. And I'm just like, the whole time, I'm like, oh my God, this is like classic. I would just love to take the proposals and say, now look, here's a bad example of preparing for an agile presentation, right? It's a one-liner. There's nothing there. No one can go. No one knows what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. And it was interesting watching the ones who've done it a few times and how they laid out, like at minute 10, minute 20, minute 30, minute 40. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what I'm going to do, an interactive activity. Here's where I'm going to do some lecture. Here's where I'm going to share some slides. Here's where we're going to do this. And then you got a good feel for what was actually getting presented. But like I said, it's classic ATF, man. But there were some really great ideas. I liked them. They're all over the place for different things, and they had different areas. And since I didn't do so well volunteer with one group, I volunteered now with another group because they need some help during review. So I'm trying to get as many of them in as I possibly can every night before I fall asleep, because I got to get up for 5 a.m. Mester Scrum, right? And so it's just interesting. But it's just amazing how that works into that realm. How many of those proposals could really benefit from the ATF class, where we lay agendas, we do annotated agendas, you do time agendas, you like sequence it out, learn how you do those events, how you manage it, how you present it, how you prepare for it, right? You want to present to thousands and thousands of people that are going to this Agile conference. You got to prepare, right? It's not like, oh, I'm just going to show up and go, hi, my name's Greg, and I type 5am Mester Scrum, and this is what you should know, and this is what we do. No, that doesn't work. You got to propose, you got to get cleared, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, it was just a good example using that. I think I just went off the nutty boat right there. So the other one, difficult teams, because we're at the 10-minute mark, and we only do this for 15 minutes, just like an Agile Scrum. So this is my own coaching activity. A lot of times when we talk about coaching, we talk about the teams reaching down and going places you don't want to go. I'm in that quandary right now. I have a couple teams. I have a few teams on this one train that I'm coaching, and they are literally a mess. Total mess. They are doing Agile. What do you want to call it? A name? They're doing some of the ceremonies. They're not doing all the ceremonies, but they're not teams, right? They're not team set up, and the managers are sabotaging it. It's just a mess. I was talking to Scrum Master the other day, and I asked her, we were talking about splitting teams, because their teams are getting kind of big. And I'm trying to ask, so why do we want to split teams? What's the goal? And the Scrum Master's like, oh, no, we don't want to split teams. They're doing fine. Their daily scrums are under 15 minutes long, even though there's like 14 people on the team. I'm like, okay. And I look at the numbers, trying to figure out, it's not an easy split if we were to split it. They need to hire a couple people, then we can split it. They don't have enough testers. It's a bottleneck. It's like Kanban. You use Kanban to figure out your bottlenecks. It's easy to see what the bottleneck would be. It's going to be testing. It's plain as day. Probably what the problem is right now. So anyway, there's a challenge out there that she gave me. What are you going to do, Greg? I'm trying to get them to update the system and talk more and involved, and they're not doing refinement sessions, and they're not doing this. I said, even you, as I coach, what if, and I'm thinking to myself, I haven't really done that much, to be honest with you. I tried coaching the leadership, Scrum Master, BA/product owner, product owners, and even product owners. I got to work on that a little bit. But to really dive into it, have I done a great job with each individual person on the team to really make them understand and coach them individually to make them succeed? You kind of hope you don't have to. It's a lot of freaking work, man. I've done it. But you know what? The challenge is out there, and I have to confront that myself as a coach. I have to say, I haven't done a good job with those teams. I've done the enterprise and gone across. I mean, it's easy when you get people that come up to you and want to be coached, right? I got people all day long walking up to you, hey, Greg, I need your help. Can you tell me how to do this? How do we do this? Can you give me some advice? Let's talk. Can we go for a walk and do some coaching? I have people all day long from all over the organization coming to me and help asking for coaching. So it's really great. Those are easy. That's the easy one because they really want coaching and they want help and they want to grow, right? It's the tough ones. And I commented on a thing the other day about, the guy was like, oh, I only work with people that want to grow and all that stuff. A lot of these teams and these people, they don't understand what's possible. They've never worked on the other side. They don't know what to do. I got to get into each individual and coach them individually in order for the team to grow and hit what they potentially can hit. They're not dumb people. Well, some people are kind of tough and pig-headed. Some people are still trying to figure things out, which is not good, especially if they've been there more than 6 months. But, that's up to me, right? I got to get rid of this higher enterprise. People like to hide. People hide up here at the higher level. They float around just like waterfall. Ooh, we're gonna float around in the upper stratosphere. Sometimes you got to get down and dirty and coach each individual on a team to make the team grow. That's my dilemma. Please comment. Tell me if you got teams like that. How have you broken into the team to get into that resistance mode? I would love to hear it. I'm here to grow from you all as much as you are from me. But I just want to share my experience as a coach that some days it's a pain in the ass. And with that, it says 5:12 on the clock. 15:12 on the clock. So we're going to say, see you later. Happy scrumming. It is Thursday. We'll be in tomorrow, Friday. Enjoy the day. Ring the little bell so you get notices when we go live. And hopefully Microsoft won't be doing updates. It's driving me nuts. You have an awesome day and enjoy the boys out cold. See ya.